Have you been thinking about buying a new construction home or retiring and building a home out here in Phoenix, Arizona, or in Arizona in general? Well, today's video, you're gonna wanna watch this because I am going to give you a breakdown of what it's like buying a new construction home. We're gonna go over the processes from picking your lot to putting down your earnest money, how much that earnest money is, what inspections you need, when you meet with the builder, what conversations you're supposed to have, and what role we play in this process for you. So stay tuned for the video, and if it's your first time to the channel, I want to say hello and thank you for watching. I'm Kelly Norton. I'm known as the AZ Realty Lady. I'm a Valley native and a real estate agent of over 23 years, and I run the Arizona Living Group. So guys, we help people that look to buy or sell homes here in the Phoenix area, and we also help a lot of folks just like you that are looking to relocate to the area. So stay tuned for the video to learn more about that process of buying a new construction home in Arizona, because it might be very different from where you're from. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Kelly Norton, your AZ Realty Lady at eXp Realty. Count on me for all things Arizona real estate. All right, so let's dive right in. So the very first step is going to be identifying the community that you like and of course the floor plan. A lot of these builders, the different floor plans have specific lots within the community. So once we know the floor plan that you're interested in, that's going to identify for us where in the community that home can be built. They have some floor plans that are wider, so they need wider lots, and others are more narrow and long. So that's one of those determining factor is lot size. So it's also going to depend if you want a view lot. So sometimes with view lots, there's only certain floor plans that can fit on those lots. So knowing this information and having that conversation with you up front to kind of identify what your wants and needs are will help us kind of decide how that process is going to work for identifying the home or the lot first. Now, once you have chosen a lot, the lots here, some of them are included, but most builders do have a lot premium. So you have the price of the home, which is the base price. Then you need to add in for the lot. Now, sometimes just a standard lot is going to be a $5,000 premium. Some builders, depending on the builder, they'll charge $5,000 for a home that sits on a corner or backs to a park. Other builders, a very similar lot, they might charge $30,000 for a home that backs to a park. So there's not really a specific rhyme or reason. Different builders in different communities and different caliber homes have different lot premiums for the communities. So it's really going to kind of vary from community to community. Once you've identified the lot and the home, then what we want to do is we want to have the builder kind of break down the pricing for you with your structural upgrades. A structural upgrade would be something like a quad slider door. That would be turning a bedroom into a den, turning a bedroom into, or adding like a bathroom in a bedroom, maybe changing it from a shower to a bathtub. So those are structural changes. And also some builders will ask for your electrical changes right then as well, how many pre-wires you want in different rooms. They're going to give you most of the time several different fan pre-wires. But if you want to have pendant lights and you want to have pre-wires for surround sound and things like that, that's oftentimes an addition. And some builders, you do that right then. Other builders, you do that at the design center. So this is going to give you the opportunity to get pretty close number on your home price without all of the upgrades in. Now, some builders have software where you can go in and kind of look at some of the cabinet options, the countertop options, the flooring options. Those are all things that are going to add into that price. So if I were to give you kind of a rough estimate, if we're looking at a $600,000 home, and that's the base price of the home, more than likely you're going to be somewhere in that 670 to 700 range without a huge lot premium. Most people that I see are doing anywhere from 10 to 20% in upgrades on their home, but some builders have higher costs for those upgrades than others. So there's some things that we can talk about when we talk about the design center that's going to give you that option to do some things aftermarket that might help you save a little bit of money in the long run. You have to remember, everything you add to your house, in a lot of these cases, the builder is going to be making a percentage of everything you add to the house. So if there's anything you can do after, it's usually better to do that. So once we have kind of the general estimate of the numbers, and again, you're not going to get your final number until you do your design center. So sitting down with the builder and doing that structural kind of build out and getting an estimate for your design center items gives you an estimate, but it's not going to be set in stone until you actually go and pick everything out. So the next step of securing that lot is going to be, in most cases, applying for the loan and putting your earnest money down. So the builders usually have incentives that are tied to you using their lender. And when you do that, if you're paying cash, they have a separate set of incentives typically. But if you are doing the financing, a lot of times they want you to do that right away. Other builders will have you do the earnest money deposit and then do the loan application. So again, different communities, different builders set it up differently, but in general, these two things are side by side as the next step. Now, how much is earnest money? It's going to depend on the caliber of home and the price point of the community that you're in. So some communities you can get as low as $5,000 for your earnest money. But I would say the majority of the communities I'm seeing anywhere from that $10,000 to $20,000 for earnest. Now, a lot of people say, is that all that I have to have up front? No, it is not. Most builders are going to charge some kind of percentage if you go far over their average for upgrades at the design center. We'll talk about that again here in just a moment. So once we've done the earnest money, now they're going to go ahead and do a purchase contract. Now, we used to sit down and we sit down in the office and we all do the purchase contract together. It's now all done electronically. So they're going to send a copy to me and a copy to you. We're going to go through the contract together and answer any questions that you have. Before you sign that contract, there's a lot of things that I want to make sure that you've read through. One being the public report. This is going to tell you what sat on that property before they built homes. So was this a burial ground? Was this a farm? What was it? Right? So any knowledge that they have about that land, they're going to let you know of what it is in the area, what's around, if there's an airport nearby, a railroad nearby, power lines, if there's a canal nearby. They'll even let you know if there is, desert wildlife in the area, free range cattle. These are all things that they have to disclose to you. So that public report is very important. It's also going to tell you about the testing that's been done on that property prior to them building. So it's going to let you know if that soil is stable and whether they recommended to have a post-tension slab. Now, this is not a video about the process of building the actual home. It's actually the process that you go through as the homeowner. So we have other videos about the process of what it looks like to build the home. Okay, so in addition to that public report, you're going to want to know what is going to be charged at closing for the HOA. You want to know if there is a CFD, Community Facilities District, that elevates your taxes. They'll have an estimate for taxes in that public report. So a lot of information there. Get the HOA information, see what plants you can have, what the rules are, because guys, in new construction, really, really important to know, once you are locked in with a contract and an earnest deposit, it's non-refundable. So if you change your mind 2 weeks later because you hear from somebody that it's kind of a tight HOA, you can't cancel at that point. That would be a loss of your earnest money. So, and potential issues legally. So just make sure that you read this documentation. And that's why it's so important to have a real estate agent. We know what documentation you need to read at what time. We walk the lots with you. We make sure that you are educated before you lock yourself into that. The other thing is, after you do the contract phase, they are going to want you to meet at the design center to pick out all of your finishes for the home. Now, a lot of builders give you a very short timeline for this. Some give you only a week and a half to 2 weeks. Some will give you 3 to 4 weeks. So that's something that we can help plan with. And there's also ways that we can help with making sure that builder gives you just a little bit more time. So we've done that for a lot of our clients as well. So when you go to the design center, a lot of them are set up differently. So some is a 2-day, 3-day process on some of the more luxury homes. Others, it's a 1-day process. You're there for like 4 hours and you design your whole home. And it can be very overwhelming. And a lot of our clients prefer to buy a spec home or a quick move-in home where everything's already picked because they don't have to do all of that selection. It can be a bit overwhelming. There's a few ways that we will help you as your agent be prepared for that appointment so that you're going in there with ideas and you're kind of sharing that with the designer so that the designer can help you put together something that is really going to be a good fit for you and your family. If you go in there without ever thinking about it and you're not prepared with the things that we give you, then it's going to be even more overwhelming and you're going to feel like you're second guessing everything. So we want to help prepare you for that. So after this design center appointment, they're going to see how much you upgraded. So let's say on a $600,000 home, you decided to do $150,000 in upgrades. Some builders are going to have a threshold. They're going to say, hey, you know what? Most people in this community, they upgrade up to about $70,000 or $80,000 above. And so if you go past that number, for some builders, they want 100% of it in cash. So let's say you did 100,000 and their threshold was 80, they want $20,000 in additional deposit. Non-refundable, remember. Others just say, okay, we want half of that or a certain percentage of that overage. So some builders may want 10,000 of that 20,000. So it just depends. Some builders call it just the overage of just the upgrades, where others say structural, electrical, and design center additions can't go over this certain amount. So it just depends on the builder itself. So keep that in mind. Those are additional deposits that you might need to account for. Now, where these are handled, where you go to the design center, it depends. Like if you're buying in Pebble Creek, you do it right at Pebble Creek. If you are buying some of the homes out in Verrado, then there's some of the locations out in Buckeye. But then there's others that are out in Scottsdale, even though you're buying a home in the West Valley, Peoria, Buckeye. So it just depends on the particular community as to whether you are able to do a design center appointment close to the property. So that's something that will also help you with if you're coming out here on a separate trip. We'll help you understand where that location is so you know where to book your hotel so that you aren't, driving all over the place. Maybe get one kind of in the middle or maybe depending on the time of day that you need to be driving from one place to the other, you want to get the hotel so you're not driving in traffic. So a bunch of these little things will help coordinate with you. So at this design center appointment, there are certain things that you're going to want to think about and have already priced out. For example, window treatments. So if you watch any of my videos, you know that we have an expansive list of contractors and contacts for our clients. Now, this can range all the way from pest control to landscaping to barbers to everything for your house. So your window treatments, a painter, someone that does the wall designs, if you like those paneled looking walls, if you want crown molding done afterwards, if you want a sink put in your laundry room. We have contacts for all of these things. Now, the builder is going to charge pretty hefty on some of these items, but some builders don't charge very much extra at all. So sometimes it's better for you to be able to finance that into your loan. But if you have the cash after, then you can be able to look and see, hey, where am I going to save money at? So I really encourage you to get with us, make sure that we have some kind of bids and estimates done for you on some of the things you want to do so that way you know whether to get it done with the builder or after. Some of these things, for example, again, would be like adding cabinets in your laundry room, window treatments. Our window and shutter guy has a guarantee that he won't be beat in the state of Arizona. So you're going to get the best quality for the best price with our contact. But if you don't have the cash to do it after, then sometimes you'll just have to pay that extra premium with the builder, because the builder is usually making some type of a premium off of that. So they are making money, and so is the contractor that you're going with through the builder. So also landscaping packages. If you're going through the builder, you're going to pay a lot more for that. A lot of people ask me, what about putting a pool in? Can I finance the pool within the build? Most builders don't have that option right now, but there's a couple that do. But I guarantee you, if you put your pool in with the builder, there's going to be a pretty good premium there. The nice thing about it is you can usually wrap it into the loan, and they also can do it before they put the fences up. And you are pretty close to getting water. You're only maybe like a couple weeks away from getting water, or a month away when you close on your house. You don't have to wait the full build time, which the full build time on a pool is anywhere from like 3 to 6 months. So just a heads up, that is something you can do, but most builders don't offer it right now. So it's just something you have to do after. And if you need a pool contractor, let us know. So another thing to know about this process is that you are going to have a conversation. I would say 99% of the builders, after you have the contract, you've got your design center, everything is set up with your upgrades that you're putting into the home, then the superintendent, construction manager, whatever they want to call it, is going to set up either a phone call, a Zoom, or an in-person meeting with you. So very few of them do it in person out at the dirt lot, but some do. Others will do it in their office, and the majority of them do it over a Zoom, and then some do it over the phone. This is where they're going to go over with you everything that you did. So if you made some changes, this is when you want to have your paperwork in front of you. So you know whether or not you're putting doors on that den. You know whether or not you've gotten rid of the third car garage to put a guest suite there. So that's very important. And these kind of appointments we love to attend with you because we're going to help check and balance. We're going to help and make sure that everything is covered that you need to know moving forward. So after this happens, everything is submitted for permitting. This process is going to take a little bit. A lot of people say, how long does the construction process take in general in Arizona? That varies from builder to builder. The majority of them are taking 6 months to 12 months. But I would say even more so, probably 8 to 10 months for most builders. But this beginning process is going to take a couple months for, that first 3 to 4 weeks was you picking out your selections and all your design center items. And then you go to permitting. So depending on the city, permitting can be faster than other cities. So it just depends there. But usually in that 2 to 4 month mark is when the ground will break on your lot. And they'll start getting it ready, grading the lot, regrading, or start laying everything down to get that foundation started. So then they're going to be pouring your slab. And that's the first step of really what you see that looks like, oh my gosh, this is the start of the house. That next step is going to be framing the house, and they're building up the house. And now in between framing and drywall is when your first inspection is recommended. Now the builder is going to do a walkthrough with you, with that construction manager, with the superintendent. But we also recommend that you have a home inspection done at this point, because this is your first chance and last chance to see inside those walls. Once they put the insulation and the drywall over, you can no longer ever look inside those walls. And sometimes they find absolutely nothing major, and other times they do find some things that probably would have caused you some issues with settling, with, possibly structural. Sometimes they're finding broken trusses that weren't re-engineered and braced and didn't have a certification. Sometimes they're re-engineered, but there's no certification there. And then when you go to sell your house, guess what? A buyer is going to say, hey, where's the certification from an engineer? And let's say you're 12 years down the road after you bought your home. Now that cost of you having an engineer come out and certify that is now your expense. So these are all things that we're trying to help keep you from having as an issue in the future. So again, that home inspection before the insulation and the drywall happens is really important. Now, some people just say, I just want one before closing. That's no problem. You're just not seeing inside the walls at that point. So after they do the drywall and they kind of start to get the house going together, then they're going to do the interior stuff like the cabinets, the flooring, the cabinets, the paint, countertops, and everything on the inside. Just going to finish out. So guys, when they're doing this inside interior part, it's a little bit more difficult to get inside the house because they have all the trades in there and it's super, super messy. And we have homeowners that go in there and go, oh my gosh, it's such a mess in there. It is a construction zone, guys. It's going to be a big, huge mess. I promise it does look better when you're getting your key. But even in that last week or 2 weeks, it's an absolute disaster in there. The bathtubs just don't even look like you could ever take a bath in them. Everything does get cleaned up, but you have to remember that this is a construction zone, so it's going to look really rough the majority of the time while the home is being built. So after the inside of your home is finished up, they're going to start giving us some dates. So they're going to give us probably anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks notice that they're going to want to do a walkthrough with us. Typically builders are doing 2 different walkthroughs. They're doing a walkthrough 1 to 2 weeks before closing, where we go through, and it's kind of a blue tape walkthrough, if you will. But they usually have 2 different colors of tape, one that's green or yellow for drywall and one that's blue for a paint type touch-up. So we're going to go out around the outside of the house and the inside of the house with that construction manager or the warranty manager, and we're going to point things out. And this is an opportunity for us to open the windows, flush the toilets, turn on the lights, run everything, turn the stove on, walk around the house, look up, look down, open the garage door, make sure there's no dents. There's a ton that we're doing at this appointment, and we attend this with you. So what I recommend is that you also have a home inspection done at this point. Now, some builders, I would say 99% of builders, want you to do this inspection a couple days before we do the walkthrough. Then we have that inspection report and we give that to the builder. Another reason why this inspection is so important, you guys, is you have documented. If you say, hey, you know what, there's a lot of water standing in this area of the landscaping, and they say, oh yeah, we just had a hose there, it's no big deal. And then 4 months later, there's a giant sinkhole in that spot. Guess what? You had it documented and called out that there was a potential leak in that area. And so now the builder can't go back and tell you that this is something that your landscaper caused or that there was an issue. You have really good evidence that this was something that was already existing. So these home inspections have more than just a right now purpose. They kind of have a little bit of a protection purpose for you in the future, in my opinion. So once you have that home inspection, we send that over to the builder, and some builders are going to say, hey, you know what, for Arizona register contractors, building standards, this is acceptable. Others are just going to say, you know what, we're going to make you happy, and even though we don't need to do this, we're going to order this new for you. So it just depends on the builders, and it depends also, you know, if you're getting a entry-level home or if you're getting more of a semi-custom home. It really depends on that too. Also, you could be dealing with the same builder but a different supervisor. You're going to get a different experience. So there is a little bit of a difference there as well. So at these appointments, at that appointment, usually we're just doing that walkthrough. And then sometimes they'll have a warranty manager come and explain all the warranties and all the goodies and bells and whistles with the house and what you need to register, what appliances you need to register. And then the next appointment is typically going to be your loan signing or your title company's signing. Sometimes that's 2 or 3 days before closing, and others it's the exact same day that you close and get your key. So sometimes they'll have you sign in the morning and then key releases sometime after 12 or 2 p.m. And they'll have us do another walkthrough usually on that day in the morning to make sure that we're signing off that they did everything that they could from that original walkthrough. And if they haven't gotten it all done, then a lot of times they're going to give you an IOU, or it's going to be transferred over to the warranty department. So there's different ways that they handle it depending on the builders, but in general, that's kind of how they handle it. Then you get your key and you have a couple days to get your utilities transferred over and get everything set up for your new home. Now, they do offer for you to have a 1-year warranty walk. So usually those items are put through at the 10-month mark. You go into their system, you tell them what items need to be addressed, and they'll send someone out to fix those items. That's another inspection opportunity that some people do take advantage of, but you don't have to do an inspection at that point, but it is recommended. So potentially you could have 3 full inspections. So guys, I hope that this is useful for you. If there's any questions that you have about our new build process in Arizona, or hey, maybe I missed one that you think I should have discussed, put it in the comments. We love your feedback on the videos. And again, I'm Kelly Norton. I'm known as the AZ Realty Lady, Valley native real estate agent of over 23 years and the owner of the Arizona Living Group. My team and I would love to talk with you and help you with your move here to Phoenix, or maybe you're moving out of state. Let us know. And if you have a home you have to sell in another area, we have partners that we partner with throughout the United States and Canada and Mexico. So we would be happy to refer you to one of our trusted partners to help you get your home sold as well. Guys, call or text is the best way to reach me. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel and click the bell, and go on the website. Click contact us if you would like to book an appointment with myself or one of my team members. Thank you so much again, guys. I appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.